Alright, so we got going on today. I'm gonna try going down to Lake Trinidad in Colorado, somewhere I've never been before, and just kind of see what happens. Supposed to have Alright, so didn't catch anything. The water was terrible. I'll throw some pictures up. So instead of making a video of me catching all kinds of cool fish, I figured I would make a video of the Hewescraft Sportsman 160, because I know when I was looking for reviews of it, or even just like walk-arounds and videos and impressions, you know, before I bought it, I found tons of stuff for the big Hewescrafts, which are awesome and way more expensive and don't fit in my garage. Not really anything for the little guys they sell, which are awesome boats in my opinion. So here we go. I'll just pick this up. It's going to make it bounce all over the place, and we'll go for it. Alright, so all the standard stuff, regular ball hitch, 2-inch, foldable tongue, which is awesome, fits in my garage almost straight. If I had just a slightly longer garage, it would fit in there without having to cockeye it. I'll throw a picture in of what that looks like. Regular, you know, winch, safety cable, nothing fancy. Added the grip tape to make it a little easier when you got to jump up there in the water. On the front, a removable mount for my trolling motor, so I don't have it up here just bouncing all over the place. I like that. If I want to upgrade, I don't gotta you know, re-drill or do anything like that. I just get the new same motor guide, more power if I want to, you know, whatever. Put it in there. Plug for the trolling motor, connector for the low rants, for the autopilot and all the fancy stuff that goes along with that. Right there, I stole that from an idea from my buddy's Ranger. His little mesh bags all along the whole front bow. Great storage in this boat. There's general lack of storage, so having those to throw your you know, handling lines, the dock fenders, etc., is very, very handy. Coming back around the boat, you know, full windshield when it's windy out and cold out, it is amazing. The cover, I'm not going to put it up now, but I'll throw a picture up of what it looks like when it's up. If you're taller than about 5'8", get the 3-bar deluxe. It's higher. I can't stand up underneath it. Kind of have to squat down. It's a little, not squat, I guess, hunch down. A little annoying. Not terrible. Get the bunk guides. In the wind, that is key to putting the boat on the trailer easily and safely. Gives you a little more room for air. You're not just banging it in the fenders if it's windy out like you would otherwise. Around the back, tie downs. I mean, they're tie downs. There's really nothing to talk about there. Motor choices. I went with the Honda 90. It's rated up to 90, so I would go with a 90. Honda, Mercury, Yamaha, they're all about the same weight. I'll go ahead and I'll put it up in, you know, hopefully an overlay if I can figure out how to make it work on the video. The weights of all the motors. Basically, if you're going to go with a 75 or higher, go with a 90, because the 75s and the 90s for all three manufacturers there are the same. So they're same weight, same everything, same fuel requirements, just they tune them different. So the Honda 75, that's exactly the same as this Honda 90, only makes 75 horsepower. I think it was like $1,500, $2,000 more for the 90, totally worth it in my opinion. If you're going to go less than that, you get the 50s and 60s from, off the top of my head, it was Yamaha, Honda, and Mercury, all about the same weights as well, fairly significantly less. I think this 90 is $359, and the Honda 50 and 60 is like 2 something, so it's a fair amount less weight. But if you're going to do that, Yamaha makes a 70 horsepower that's 200 and something also, so it's again, you know, 100-pound savings over this 90, and over a 75. So if you want a lesser powered engine for cheaper, that Yamaha 70 probably the way to go. You know, for horsepower to weight ratio and prices. Let's see, the track. That is not factory. It's definitely what you want to go with, in my opinion. You can mount all kinds of accessories on here. And it's not cheap, but you know, rod holders that change what direction you want, ratchet back up and down. I got the cheaper version back here because I didn't want to spend another $200 on 2 more of them, but they work, just don't look as fancy, I guess. In the front, 2 rocket launchers, Let's see if it'll read it. I can't read it, I guess. Fish Strike Fishing's where I got them from. It was like 30 bucks each. Just bolts right through and allows me to store extra rods up here. I put my net up there fairly often. Before I had another set of rod holders, I'd use the troll from, and it works. It's not the best, but it works. Oh, hey, look at that. I noticed this at the ramp was a little loose, and I figured I could just tighten when I got home instead of getting the tools out of the back of the truck. I figured wrong because it definitely rattled the hardware out. So, should have just done it when I was there, I guess. Lucky it didn't fall out and flatten the tire that's right next to it and behind it. That would have sucked at 70 miles an hour on the highway. So back around, the front deck is self-bailing. Yeah, you can't see it through there, but it is. You see on the opposite side there where it's at. So I haven't been in really rough water, but anything I've has splashed in there just comes right out. Alright, now I'm going to pause it. I'll jump inside. We'll keep going. Alright, so now we're inside the boat, obviously. Another view of the tracks I added. I think they're 36-inch sections. They just bolt right through. You can reach your arm up underneath and get right to it. The only ones I didn't do were the front. I plan to do nutserts in there because it's covered at the foam up that point, so you can't just reach there and get them. But so far it hasn't been an issue, so I just haven't done it yet. That's what I like. I'm going to get it. My kicker showed up today when I was out trying to catch fish when it was supposed to be here Monday, which is the whole reason I went fishing today. But auxiliary fuel port for it. I would definitely get that. Cleans up everything. You know, one hose that runs right here instead of a hose that runs to a fuel tank you put on the floor and then back to there. It just seems a lot simpler for me. Let's see. Rod holders there. They work. They're not the best. The stuff kind of rattles around. I've never had one come out. You know, holds 6, and it will hold 6. You can see on this side it takes a little creativity every once in a while. You know, 2 line counter trollers. Got a just regular spinning reel in the middle. Everything stays on there. Those are 7'6" that collapse the bottom portion. Okuma's, I'm pretty sure. So that you can see in the front, there's plenty of more room, but the hold nose curve, so it'll start rubbing if you have a really long rod in there. And it is kind of messy because I was out fishing, so I just kind of tossed some stuff in here. Nothing too fancy up here. You get the options for everything. So you can see there it says wiper and courtesy. I don't have courtesy lights. I wired those to the Namiya 2000 network to connect to Lowrance with the motor guide trolling motor, because they all have the connections in the back. You know, they're all wired up. They're just not connected to anything, just bare wires that are terminated on the other side. And yeah, wipers, again, I don't have wipers, but everything's there, so you can use those switches to do anything else you want. They're wired, they have power, you just gotta trace them back, and if I remember right, they were labeled also. So really simple and easy. Nice, you know, 12 volt, so I can plug the phone in if I need to for any reason while I'm out listening to music. And let's see, things I added, a little through fitting right there for some of the cables. The power, though, is just way too big, so that kind of wraps around the side. It's not as clean or nice looking, but it works. Ram mount for the fish finder had a hummingbird on there. I got the Lowrance now. It works. It's adjustable. I don't normally adjust it, but every once in a while you can, you know, pivot it up, put it up in this way when you're standing in the back more fishing. Yeah, it works. Down here, the way I got this is it was just empty. For me now, trolling motor, battery in there. It's a cheap, like $100 battery, lasts for about 5 hours, give or take, of normal use. Not terrible. I would like lithium, but that was $100. Lithium set up for the same size battery, even though it'll last, you know, twice as long, is gonna be, I don't know, $600. Little storage shelves underneath, along with everything else. Fuse block in the corner, if you can see it, kind of. You have a lot of empty spots in there, so you can wire up just about anything you want. And little storage shelves are handy. not the best, but you know, better than nothing. Again, not a lot of storage. If you get the bench seats, you'll have a lot more options. I think they're 21 inch on the 16.5 foot glove box. Yep. Maybe waterproof, maybe not. Oh, got my foot stuck. So pretty much all the storage you have on this boat without the bench seats is under here. You know, one on each side. It's not bad. You can see I can fit a fair amount in there. I got 3 side planers, 2 stern planers, 4 3700 size boxes. So it's not too bad. Not the best, but it's not bad. Seats do have the little spring, I don't know, horseshoe thing. It's, again, it's not the best, but it's not bad. And you have the same on the other side, so it makes it a good place to store, you know, a cheap extra life jacket if you need one for somebody. I got the throwing, what do you call it, throwable down there that's required. So you know, you can cover yourself if you bring some extra people with you. And they just all have these little rubber pull latches, secure, easy, nothing weird about it. Fire extinguisher mounts right to the outside. It's quick and simple. Back to the back again. Bilge access. So I keep just a little tackle box in there. Random extra stuff, basically. The starter battery it comes with. The cutoff switch, amp fuses, and what do you call it, emergency cattle, fuel water separator. And down there, if I can get the camera in, you have the cutoff and the seacock for your through hole for the live well on the front. And the live well is pretty awesome. To the front deck, a lot of times I'll leave this open when you're just cruising along. Works out really well. Live well. Alright, take 3 on recording the live well. Just unscrews. And drains right overboard. No pumps or anything to drain, just straight out the side. It doesn't have an aerator, just simply works off continually running fresh water into it, which once it reaches, you know, right up here, just drains over, get fresh. If you're like me, and the first time you try to use it, it doesn't work, there's a cap that was on the infitting. So I turned it on, the pump pumped and pumped and pumped, and no water ever came out. And I started to get a little frustrated, thinking my stuff was broken. It wasn't. I'm just, you know, not very smart. Alright, that pretty much wraps up about everything about the little boat. It's not a big boat, but it's got a ton of space for a 16.5 foot. I'll at some point in here, if I figure it out again, you know, put a overlay with all the specs of the boat. You know, everything Hewescraft published, and then the weight. Pretty sure this thing weighs based off their statistics that they publish and the stuff I've added. I haven't taken over the scales, but probably close. As you can see, this is what makes this little boat awesome. It's just a ton of space to fish from. If you like to troll, if you like to, you know, cruise along the shore and cast into the shore with a couple of people on the boat, it's not the best for that because the bow area is tiny. You can fit one person up there, kind of. And yeah, no, not really kind of. You definitely can. But it's, you know, it doesn't have a huge casting deck on the front. For mine, I only got the 2 seats, so someone's got to sit on the transom. It's big, flat, wide open areas, no issues. Or if you bring a cooler, someone sits on that. They make bench seats, which I want to get. I'll again, if I can figure it out, put the picture that Hewescraft publishes with the bench seats. They're 21 inches, so they don't take up a whole lot of space back here. But they give you another seat and they flip open, kind of like the regular seats here. And that's just more storage. So if you want to have more tackle on the boat, you have the ability to do that. You want to keep more life jackets, you know, anything like that. You just have the ability to do it. Right now, yeah, I really don't. I actually talked to him, to the dealer I bought this from up in Idaho last I don't know, a couple days ago, and to see about buying one or a pair of them, and was told Hewescraft is only going to sell them to people that bought the boats, like, you know, as they build them, or maybe October if they catch up. So for now, I'll do with what I got, and it works. So great boat for trolling, great boat for rough water. When it's cold out, you put this door shut up here. You don't feel the wind unless it blows from the side, which of course it always does. Put the top up in the sun. I'll put a picture of how I do that so I can still see looking forward, because like I said, it's a little too short for me. It's not that hard. The whole center unzips, so I need to try to work on a solution for that center flap to secure it, because there's no way to do that. I lost myself. My screen disappeared. There we go. So I need to figure out that in the wind, when you have a following wind, or wind from behind you, whatever you want to call it, it'll blow forward, and it's kind of annoying. Again, not the end of the world, just a little, you know, thing maybe to mess with or work on once in a while. Other than that, I like this boat a lot. So sitting here fumbling my way through making the video, and I thought of some things I probably should have mentioned, you know, but I just kind of was winging it at the end of the day. So things I would change, deluxe top, definitely. Didn't know that was a thing when I bought the boat, found out after the words. It'd just be nice to be able to stand up fully underneath it, especially if it was, you know, raining out and windy and just not as much fun. If you look on the Hewescraft website, you can see they have versions with clear side windows or curtains that come down. A back curtain, which on the 160, it might be a little small. I mean, it'd give you an enclosed space, but it would really limit the size of that fishing room left out, you know, behind it in the open deck. But I think it'd be worth it, depending on the weather. Bench seats, at least one of them, just for that extra storage and a little more comfort for whoever's, you know, riding back there. I normally only have 2 people, but I fished the 3 adults and a kid on there before. It's not an issue. Definitely plenty of room still, but another seat would be nice. My trolling motor, it's a Motor Guide XI3. The GPS, got the sonar on there. I've never hooked it up because I just used the, you know, the regular transducer on the back. But it's a 54-inch shaft. I would go for the 60 next time, and I might actually buy the replacement, because I found one online, $60, you know, plus whatever shipping and taxes are, of course. But it'd be worth it. Every once in a while, when it gets choppy out, you'll hear the trolling motor start to come out of the water and cavitate a little bit. So I think the extra 6 inches down there will fit, will work, and it will still fit when I put the motor up on the bow. Big one, have the dealer, or do it right away, apply shark hide. It'll keep the aluminum really shiny and nice looking and protect it better. I didn't do that. So at some point now, I'm going to have to get some Scotch-Brite pads and scrub it all down really good. And it's going to be a pain. And then I'm going to have to figure out how to do it where the bunks cover the bottom of the hole. So I don't know. I'll figure it out somehow. On that note, I would not get the full painted or graphics. I feel like you're just asking to make the boat look bad, because I've, you know, bumped up against the dock a couple times. There are a few docks I use that are higher than I would like, and they have metal edges. And I've hit them without the we call it bunk on there, and it's already gouged the paint or decal on the side of the boat. So I think having that fully down to the waterline would just lead you to have some trouble. And lastly, would I buy the boat again? If I had to fit it in my garage, for sure. If that wasn't a factor, or I had a bigger garage, I wouldn't buy a bigger Sportsman. I'd go for the Sea Runner. It's 10 inches wider, so if you get the 190, it's like 22 feet overall, because it's the extended transom. It is longer than any of the Sportsmen, but it's 10 inches wider, so your whole, like, you know, fishing area is larger. The 180 and the 200 Sportsmen's 18 and 20 footers, they're just longer. So exactly the same with my boat, same dimensions, you know, from the bow to the windshield. Just add 2 or 4 feet to the cockpit in the back. It just seems to me the same number of people would be able to fish on the boat because of just the width. There's not enough room to get around each other. Put another 10 inches on there, I think, would help. You also get heavier metal, gas tank that's twice the size, deeper V, you know, so better for choppy water. Yeah, you know, just way more space. If I missed anything you guys, you know, have questions about or think I should have covered, or if I said something really dumb that's completely wrong, just let me know, and I might fix it. I probably won't, but I'll say I will because it makes me feel good. Yeah, I think that covers it. Bye.